Welcome to Why. This episode, we're talking to members of the USS Susquehannock. It's a Star Trek fan organization. They do some charity work, they hang out together, they have monthly meetings at a local buffet, and they're really cool guys. I enjoyed talking with them. Let's find out why they do what they do. Before we do, let me introduce you to our sponsor, Archivos, your stories illuminated.
Introducing Archivos, the story mapping and development tool for today's storytellers. With Archivos, storytellers don't just document the characters, places, and events of their stories. They define the relationships between those story elements, and then visualize those connections through unique story mapping interfaces like the living map, the timeline, and the story web. By giving storytellers the ability to see and interact with that network of story elements, Archivos helps ensure story comprehension and continuity, while providing a dramatic and engaging way for fans to explore the story worlds they love. Learn more about Archivos at www.archivos.digital. That's ARCHIVOS.digital. Archivos, your stories illuminated.
I am talking with members of the USS Susquehannock, a Star Trek organization in central Pennsylvania. I'm talking with Suze, Laura, and Carl of that organization, and I believe that Doris is somewhere haunting the background. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
Wow, thanks for talking to me on a Sunday morning. I know this is not the best time for people to be up to talk about big events, but thank you for taking the time.
No, we don't mind.
I've kind of been in orbit around your circle for several years now. I've gone to events and I've seen you guys set up and participating in various events. One of the things that I didn't realize was that you guys were in charge of Sci-Fi Saturday at 2nd and Charles. And that's an event that I've always had a lot of fun with. I brought my family there. And I think there's this great family vibe. You're in this great bookstore, and there are things going on inside the Harrisburg Mall as well in the bookstore. It seems like that this is your 8th time doing this September, correct?
Correct.
And it just seems like a success every year. And I guess in con speak, when you make it look easy, it's harder than that. So I wanted to ask you guys, what's that?
It is definitely harder than it looks.
Right, it's easy for anyone attending. It's hard to set up. But that's the beauty of it. You know, people can go, have a fun time, and, you know, the whole thing's free to go to any of the panels, look at any of the cosplay, listen to the filking. You know, if you want to buy something, obviously that a novel or a comic book or a movie that someone produced, that's all you have to do. So it's a great deal for anyone coming.
Yeah. That's Carl, by the way. Suze, could I have you sound off? I just want to make sure everybody knows who's who.
Hi, this is Suze.
Hi, Suze. Hi. Laura, you there?
This is Laura. I'm here.
And Doris, you're hanging around in the background somewhere?
Hello.
Okay.
You could actually hear that, right?
Yeah, I can hear that.
Sitting away from all the mics.
So a couple years ago, I found myself at the Harrisburg Mall, and my family and I were doing some regular shopping, and we happened to find the Ghostbusters were out front, and they had their ectomobile, and they were taking photos with families, and I think at the time they were called the Central PA Avengers. Now they're the Central PA Heroes Coalition. They were there as well, dressed up. They're a charity organization. They dress up as superheroes, and they take photographs, and they go to charity events and whatnot. So you guys reach out to local talent and organizations and kind of create this synergy of goodwill for this kind of event. Is that what's the mission statement? What was the reason behind starting Sci-Fi Saturday?
Well, we wanted to have something that was family-friendly, that anyone could come to. It was a way to promote our organization. It was a way to collect money for our two charities, the Wolf Sanctuary of PA and the Wounded Warrior Project. And it was a good way to kind of network with other organizations in the area. And we've been very fortunate that we've had a lot of response from Central PA, Ghostbusters, we've had the Jedi Knights in the past, and the Avengers, and it's made for kind of a little Central PA family.
Yeah. So, how long has the Susquehannock been a thing? How long has it been around?
We're about 10 years old. That we become the USS Susquehannock. Starfleet, the international fan organization for Star Trek fans, goes way back. It's the largest in the United States and the world with over 5,000 members. And so we've been doing now, out of the 10 years we've existed, Sci-Fi Day for 8 of the years.
Why Susquehannock? What's the story behind that?
Well, basically, in Starfleet, again, Starfleet with all capitals, the fan organization, if you have 10 or more people in your area, you can name your own ship, like the USS Enterprise. Mm-hmm. So the Susquehannock was a local Indian tribe, so we did it for pride of that, the USS Susquehannock.
Oh, okay. All right. And so you've been around for about a decade, and have you had about the same members, more or less, at that time? Is it a close-knit group?
Yeah, people definitely in a big group come and go.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been kind of a core group of people that have kind of been there since the beginning, and that's kind of the backbone. But we're just really fortunate that, especially for a big event like this, we have so many people come out from the group to help, even if they can only do set up or tear down or whatever. They come out and they put some time in to make this a successful event.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool. And this, you said, benefits your two charities, the Wolf Sanctuary and Wounded Warriors Project. What's behind choosing those two particular organizations or causes?
Well, the Wolf Sanctuary we found out about, and we were kind of touched by the fact that this person started this organization to take in wolves and wolf dog hybrids that people have obtained illegally and give them a forever home. And they do this without the benefit of state or federal funds. So they rely strictly on their volunteers, which are incredibly dedicated people, and on donations. And we thought, wow, that is an organization we want to be part of. And then the Wounded Warriors we got involved with because we have a member of the group who is a veteran who actually has benefited from the Wounded Warrior Project programs.
Oh, okay. So both of these organizations are close to your heart. What other events do you do in support of those causes?
Well, a lot of times we bring our green screen to regular Comic-Cons, and people can get background pictures, and the green screen will be at this event too, of course.
Cool.
Background pictures from with different scenes with their cosplay. So we go to a lot of regular Comic-Con type events actually as vendors. We do free comic book day. We have voting, which do you like, Marvel or DC better, and you can put your money in a thing, or you can, donate some of the collectibles we have, things like that. So it's been a lot of varied, mostly fan-based things.
Okay. And what else is going on, in Central PA area outside of Sci-Fi Day that people can look for?
Well, there's Central PA Comic-Con, which happens once a year, and that's in different places. They've had it at York Fairgrounds already. They had it at hotels near Harrisburg, and that's usually very successful. A lot of people showing up. York Emporium in downtown York has a Sci-Fi Saturday every year. That's a huge book warehouse. A lot of the theme is sci-fi, fantasy, things like that. Can't miss that. There's free comic book day, like I said, at most of the comic book shops the first Saturday in May. So, Central PA actually has its share of things for the size of the area.
Yeah, we usually set up at Comics Closet in Shrewsbury for free comic book day. So So we kind of, our group is as you know, we were spread out all over Central PA. We're, southern end. We're, we got members from Lebanon. We got members around Harrisburg. So we try to do stuff all around so everybody has a chance to get involved.
So if someone wants to get involved in your organization, how would they go about doing that?
The best way to do it would be to find us on Facebook under the USS Susquehannock. You can ask to be a member of the Facebook page. That doesn't, make you an official member of Starfleet or anything, but you can, if you get on our Facebook page, you will be able to see all of our events, and you'll see pictures from the events we've done, and you can kind of check us out that way and see, oh, okay, these people have went to the Goddard Space Flight Center. They've went to see the space shuttle. They've go to
various conventions,
and stuff. And you can see if that's something you would want to be involved with, and then come out to one of our events and get to know us. And
come out to our Sci-Fi Day event. That would be even better.
That would be the best.
Well, that's an event. You're sure there's something for everyone. That's the thing.
Yes, and we always have a table at Sci-Fi Day, so you can find us. Our table is usually back where the outside entrance to Second and Charles is, and you can talk with us there. And if you feel like you want to sign up for Starfleet, you can. But that's it's not necessary if you want to come out to any of our events.
So it sounds like a very inclusive event. You guys sound like you're pretty close friends outside the structure of the organization. Is that fair to say?
Definitely.
Everyone here really is.
Yeah, we really enjoyed each other's company and doing things together.
And I remember when I was growing up, there were Star Trek organizations, and they liked to talk a lot about how they were drawn to that type of social design or that kind of cultural structure. Is that why you guys gravitated towards Star Trek as your central organization? Or how did you come about to decide that Star Trek would be the foundation of the organization?
That definitely was what we were, many of us were attracted to begin with. This idea that not only would humans still be around in the future, but that they would be exploring the universe, and they would be learning new things, and they'd include all peoples and all genders and that kind of thing. But so that did definitely form the base of our group. But we actually have a lot of members whose fandoms, we even have some people who never really even watched Star Trek. I mean, we have people who are into horror, into Doctor Who, who are into Star Wars, who, like 50s movies, 50s horror movies. So yes, that's what attracted us first. But since then, we've kind of met a lot of people with a lot of different interests and fandoms, and we've kind of, again, it's all about inclusive.
Right. I'd say many of my close friends in my life, from grade school and high school and up to now, have been because they enjoy science fiction, horror, fantasy as much as I do. That's the first thing I look for when I moved back to Central Pennsylvania about 10 years ago. I'm checking, online, like Meetup and things for sci-fi groups. And then when you find out something like Starfleet has and I knew about Starfleet before, but it has all these members and all these possibilities, just gravitated to it. And that's kind of what our avocation is. Like having Sci-Fi Day is something where people who love this stuff can come together and they have this great social outlet.
Yeah, it's Doris and I have actually been friends since like the late 80s, and The first convention we ever went to was because I was a DJ for a while on an AM radio station on Sunday nights, and she came in one time with me, and we were talking to the DJ before, and he was way into the original series Star Trek, and he got us free tickets to go to Shore Leave down in Hunt Valley.
Oh,
and
okay.
Which is a convention.
And the two of us went down there, and I think both of us were kind of like, oh my God, we found our people.
That's a good point, Carl. I guess for some people we have to make sure that people understand that shore leave is a convention, because a shore leave in Baltimore can mean many different things.
Well, that is true.
Well, it's funny because we've been having this conversation recently. Like, don't just say Starfleet. You either go, what's that? Or is that the fleet of ships in Star Trek? Like, Starfleet to us, all capitals, is Starfleet, of course, from Star Trek, but it's the International Fan Organization. So, like, the explainers in there are something I try to include.
That's true. We do have our own vernacular. We tend to believe that everybody understands what we talk about all the time, and that's something I have to watch
with this avocation, with my hobbies, the same with where I work, educatees. You know, you say stuff to parents that only other teachers understand for all the terminology.
Right.
It's just a habit you get into.
So the principles of Star Trek and Starfleet are the kind of the background driving force for the organization, but it is more of an inclusive. If someone were looking for an organization that supported science fiction in general or popular culture in general, they could become a member and feel just as home as a hardcore Star Trek fan.
Oh, definitely. I mean, even in the guests that we have for Sci-Fi Day, I mean, we have Mark Akron, who did the Klingon dictionary. We've got Jim Crute, who is known as the helicopter zombie from Dawn of the Dead, so there's your horror. We've got, Captain Kyle and Dame Dahlia, who both do cosplay of all kinds of different types of cosplay.
Variety of authors.
We got the Jurassic Park Jeep for our dinosaur fans, So even in the guests we get, we try to spread it over all fandoms.
Get a diverse mix.
Yes.
And that seems to fit with the themes that Second and Charles has adopted. I mean, it's very much a pop culture experience when you walk in there, as they represent genre fiction in their books and their other media, and they've got toys all over the place.
Yeah.
And did you guys pick Second and Charles for that reason, or was there another reason you went to them?
That was pretty much.
Well, that was one of the reasons. The venue that we originally, one of the original venues that, in fact, where I had joined the group was a place called Grumpy's, and they were not going to be at that location much longer, so we needed to find a new venue for our Sci-Fi Day event. Mm-hmm. And Second and Charles just seemed like a good fit. One of our members went and scoped it out, and the rest is history. We have a really great rapport with Second and Charles and the Harrisburg East Mall to put on the event and to get the space that we need, for our guests, so that it benefits everybody, and it's so much fun for everybody who comes out to it.
Yeah, it's definitely a win-win situation because, we have people that come in strictly for Sci-Fi Day, but we also have people that come in that were just coming to Second and Charles and, kind of happen upon things. And so we bring them some business and, they bring us business.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that, how profitable that kind of endeavor must be for your organization. When I first started going, it was a happy surprise. We just happened to show up. And I know that Second and Charles benefited in terms of sales because we stuck around there for hours. What does it mean to you guys in terms of donations? Is it a big day for you? Is it?
That is our primary fundraising event for the year.
Oh, okay.
One of our biggest events that we put on for our fundraising for our charities is the Sci-Fi Day event. It is the biggest event that we do all year. So whatever we're very happy to bring out some really great guests, to bring people in to help support our charities. So again, everything works together.
Yeah, it's the biggest event that we're the ones in charge of, that's for sure.
Do you guys have any set goals for your fundraising, or is it just whatever you can get?
We're always hoping to do better than we did the year before. That's what we set. Our goal is to try to do better. Try to open up more
funds for our charities.
Yeah, to have more more donations come in. What can we do? And Sci-Fi Day has definitely grown every year, and we've topped ourselves pretty much every year as far as donations go.
Well, that's cool. And then it's a 50-50 split between your Wolf Sanctuary and Wounded Warriors?
Yeah.
Correct.
That's cool. So you have a list of guests, and you mentioned a few. Is there anyone else that's coming for this event to help you out?
Well, Carl can tell you we have best-selling author Greg Cox. You want to tell him a little bit about Greg?
Yeah, so basically Greg Cox came to our very first smaller Sci-Fi Day 8 years ago, and he, at that time, was on the New York Times bestseller list once. Since then, it's been several times more. I think he's up to 4, 5, 6 times, and he is a very prolific author. And he's a true fanboy, too. When I bring him in the car, he knows about all these different venues, all about Star Trek, all about superheroes. He's written, he just wrote the novelization of War for the Planet of the Apes, the movie that just came out.
Oh, okay.
And, so he gets the scripts early. He wrote Man of Steel. He wrote the recent Godzilla. So he gets the scripts early and does a really good job with the characters and everything, writing the novels. In addition, he writes sequels to, and he's written a lot of Star Trek books. He writes sequels to stuff from the original series. In other words, that really famous episode called Assignment Earth with Gary Seven, that agent that goes around the galaxy. He wrote Assignment Eternity, a sequel to that. So, he's a true fanboy, and he'll be the nicest gentleman in the world. And, of course, he'll sign for free if you buy one of his books, or even if you bring a book that you own of his in. So, again, it's a chance to meet someone who really knows his stuff and really produces good things.
Oh, that's cool. Is he going to be... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. We also like to spotlight some local authors, too. This year we're having Kevin Coolidge, who's an author from Wellsboro, PA, that actually Carl met on vacation. And he has a series called Totally Ninja Raccoons. It's a series for kids like 7 to 12. And he also has a novella out for adults called Operation Ragnarok. So we like to get our best-selling authors, but also bring in some local talent, too.
Cool. And are they going to be doing, in addition to signing, are they going to be doing any readings or talks at the event?
Greg Cox agreed to a reading. We're so booked up, we're not sure if he can or not. I think I might even get a banner made for his table, New York Times bestselling author Greg Cox. He really is the nicest guy and is willing to do this. He's actually, for as well known as he is, this is a cash and carry thing to him. He only makes money if he sells books. So that's how willing he is to help out, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah, I do believe Greg is set for a panel.
He is now.
Yeah, I do
good.
believe so. Kevin came in a little later as far as till we got him as a guest, so we didn't have any room left for panels. But there's always next year. That's what we did with these. We had these kids. They're kids to us. Called the Really Random Rants. They do a YouTube show, and they contacted us last year and asked if they could cover our Sci-Fi Day for their channel, and we were like, okay, sure. And we've seen them at a few other events, and so we thought, to appeal to the younger crowd, we asked them if they would, do a panel this year. So they will be doing a panel this year as well.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. And then throughout the day, everybody who's participating will be available to the general public for signings and conversations. You guys will be prominently, collecting donations, but also talking to folks about your causes and.
Yes, and we also have kind of a special thing this year from one of our guests, Carolyn Siebert, known as the Zombie Queen. She's an actress and special effects artist, and she has offered. We're going to do a raffle. Where you for $5 you get a raffle ticket for a chance for her to actually make you up as a zombie. So to have a professional makeup artist do your makeup.
Yeah, as a matter of, you can pay to get a chance to die and become a zombie. Isn't that great?
Oh yeah, it's a dream. You should get her and Jim Crett together.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah, we'll get some photo ops with them. Yeah, he's a really great guy too. That's one of I'm a big fan of Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, stuff like that. And of course, with Walking Dead and everything being so, people are giving all these things a new look, which is great.
Mm-hmm. Well, in future episodes, we'll be talking with Jim. Jim is a fantastic guy. Aside from his participation in the Romero-verse, he has a Bronze Star from his time in Vietnam. He's a playwright. And he's one of the most very open and very cool people to talk with about his career in film, his relationships, and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to the episode where we talk to him and what he's looking forward to by attending your event.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of the contacting of guests, and all the guests are wonderful. But Jim, I have really enjoyed our back and forth because he has a sense of humor that I really appreciate.
He does, yeah. It's very true. I think once you get past the idea that he was a zombie in a horror movie, you realize that he, like the other people who participated in Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead, they're really cool people with great stories that are fascinating even outside the scope of their zombie careers. So they're great to talk to at conventions and very accessible. So I'm looking forward to seeing him at the event. And also we'll be talking on this program with Greg Cox and Captain Kyle and Dame Dahlia, whoever else we can convince to come on and just tell us their story and talk about the event as well. So I'm looking forward to that in the next couple of days, I think.
Excellent. Yeah, we also were lucky enough to get an artist from Altoona, PA. He's a licensed Betty Page artist, but he's also a Lucasfilm artist with Topps trading cards. His name is Todd Allen Smith. So again, we like to try to get the local people in, and we're also going to have the Dark Ops Terminus people. Anybody who doesn't know, Dark Ops is a independent local sci-fi miniseries that's currently in production. So we're excited about that too.
Well, that's cool. Well, for those who are playing the home game at your PCs, I'll be putting a list of these guests and perhaps some contact information and photographs on the podcast website and on the Facebook group. So, yeah, I will give you contact information and links at the end of the program. So before we wrap this up, we got about 5 minutes left. Is there anything else about this event or about your organization that you want to share with the general public?
Just a reminder, the event is a free event. We have a green screen, which we're fortunate to start having a green screen about 3 years ago.
Yep.
So, the green screen is a great way to come out in your cosplay and get a picture with one of a variety of backgrounds.
Oh, yeah, and we have backgrounds that follows all kinds of fandoms from Marvel, DC, Doctor Who, and we have a bunch of kid backgrounds as well. So it's a nice thing to bring your kids out for one of the. If I could take just a second, we had a situation one time. We had a young boy come to an event, and the lady who was Michelle, who was running our green screen, she set it up so it looked like the little boy had his hands on the controls of the TARDIS from Doctor Who. And when she printed out the picture, that little boy's eyes got so big.
Oh.
She was like, wow.
I'm in the TARDIS.
Yes. It was
Right.
the best. So
Well, basically, our green screen is the best souvenir at the best price for the best cause. You go to some cons and you'll spend $30, $40, $50 for one picture if you want it printed. Here, it's a fraction of that. $10 for a printed picture and an email sent home, or $5 for just the email, and we keep none of the money outside of expenses. It all goes to charity. You can't beat that.
You really can't. So that's something we hope everybody will enjoy. We're also going to have a panel. It's going to be Star Trek versus Star Wars. So that can be a little bit of an audience participation. Come out and see Jim and Carl will be doing Star Trek, and
Matt Blank from the Capital City Jedi Knights, CCJK for short. So also that day, starting at noon until the mall closes, UWI has a mini-con. They're upstairs from 2nd and Charles.
That's a store at
It's a little game. It's a little store that does a lot of gaming, a lot of cool stuff up there.
Right.
So they're having their little mini-con, which is arts and gaming related. So that'll be upstairs. That starts at noon and goes to 9.
Yeah, we've kind of, Suze has reached out to them, and we're kind of cross-promoting.
Okay, great. And someone said something about a Danebian slime devil?
Yeah. Yeah. I think they were the only ones that I didn't get the chance to talk about, and they've been coming since the beginning. They're a group that does filking,
which is making songs. You probably know this, of course, but making
popular songs, and you change up the lyrics for hilarious purposes. And we met them through Shore Leave, and those ladies have been coming and supporting us for quite a while, and they will also be there singing. So we want to give them a shout out.
Right. So we've got music, we've got games, we've got signings, panels, events for people of all ages.
Yes.
Correct.
Fantastic.
This is probably one of the more diverse groupings.
It is.
That of guests that we've managed to get, so we're really happy about it.
They don't always. Sometimes you'll see CCJK, and sometimes you'll see the whole thing written out, which is Capital City Jedi Knights.
Yeah, so they will be duking it out.
Oh, that's cool. That's great.
So we just have a lot of fun with it. So we just want people to know that, we're a fun social group of people who are so privileged to be able to enjoy our fandom and raise money for charity, and we're just very happy to be able to put on this family-friendly event.
I think some guy named Jay Smith has some sort of podcast.
Yeah, I think
he's going to show up and be there too.
I heard about that. Yeah.
That guy, he's kind of flaky, so he may be on an all-weekend bender and may not show up at all. I've heard some bad things about that Jay Smith guy. So
good to know.
Thanks for the warning.
Yeah, not a problem. So give me the date and time specifically again.
It is Saturday, September 22nd, 2018.
Saturday.
And it starts at 10 in the morning and goes till 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
Yes.
Fantastic. So, Carl, Laura, Suze from the USS Susquehannock, thank you again for taking the time to talk to me about the event and your organization.
You're welcome.
Live long and prosper.
Yes.
Peace and long life.
Yes. And sayonara.
Why is a production of J. Smith Audio. Produced by Holden Smith and J. Smith. Music by Kevin MacLeod and Compotech.com. The series is sponsored by Archivos, Your Stories Illuminated. Check them out at Archivos, ARCHIVOS.digital.
Bye.